I'm Tammy. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're making a pork chop piccata. And I've made chicken, I've made fish, I've made veal piccatas, never a pork chop. So pork chop piccata with orzo and spinach. This cooks in about 30 minutes and it cost about $8. So what we've got going right now, because the orzo takes longer to cook, is we just have, orzo is a pasta. And you can find it in the pasta aisle in a box. And we have that cooking right now. We have some oil heating up in our pan. You can use, seriously, whatever kind of pork chop you want, whatever's on sale. If you use a boneless, it'll cook better and plate better for this particular recipe. To our pork chops, we're just going to sprinkle them with a little bit of salt and pepper. You don't even have to dredge it in the flour. You can just sprinkle the flour on. These will take about 4 minutes on each side, 3 to 4 minutes on each side to cook. We'll let them rest and do our sauce. And you know, our sauce, our piccata calls for dry white wine. If you don't want to use white wine, you can use chicken broth. We're also using capers, and if you don't want to use capers, you can use green olives. Those are just a couple things you could substitute. We're just going to, again, we're just going to cook these for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side. Our orzo is finished, so right before we drain it, you're going to take your spinach, stir it into your pot. You want to just stir that in real quick, and then immediately take it off and get it drained. Pork chops are nicely browned and sizzling everywhere. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cover these to keep them warm, but to our pan we're going to add some white wine dry. Won't take that very long to reduce. Had the heat up a little high. And some fresh garlic. We'll stir this, let it reduce for just a couple minutes. And it's almost ready, and we literally have been cooking for about 15 minutes. You know, one thing I wanted to mention, if you don't drink white wine a lot, my husband found these little 4-pack of Sutter Home Chardonnays. I think they were for $5. We literally used about a half a bottle, so it wasn't that expensive. You can put the lid back on, put it in the fridge until the next time we cook. You know, if you use a whole bottle, you can always freeze the extra wine, but I just thought this was real convenient and not very expensive. Our broth is reduced. We're going to remove it from the heat. All we're going to do is add our lemon juice, our capers, parsley. Stir that up. I'm going to add a pinch of salt and pepper. We're going to put our pork chops back in here and let them just come back to temperature for a minute or so. $8 chicken piccata. You have your protein, you've got your spinach, a carb, and your orzo. It looks and smells fabulous, and it tastes divine. And you know, I want to mention, it didn't have a super amount of sauce with the finished product, but this is a lighter version, and there's so much flavor with the capers and the lemon that you really don't need a lot of sauce on here. I actually was a little bit worried, but tasting it, it's fabulous. Just want to mention, my super cute dress was $4.99 at Goodwill. Just FYI. $8, beautiful meal, 30 minutes or less. What could be better? Cheers, and I'll see you next week. She's